Hi guys, this is Alex with RV Mods, and today I wanted to unbox a head unit that I just purchased for the RV we have. The current head unit is an old Jensen, and I wanted to upgrade it with something that was not going to break the bank and gives you a lot of bang for your buck. So from all the research that I've done, this Atoto brand seems to fit the bill. Now they do have a lot of different models, and from looking at it, I wanted something that's both Android and CarPlay, and the F7 hit the bill as long as it also has the 10-inch display. Now there is an S8, which is, I believe that's what it is, which is their flagship that just came out. It's not, well, I believe, yeah, I'm sorry, it is an Android and CarPlay, and it has its own programmable apps. Like you could go to Google Play Store and download apps on the unit. With this one, you cannot download apps on the unit. The only apps that will work is when you have your phone connected. But it does have mirror, so you could also mirror whatever you're looking or you're seeing on your phone. But for, I believe I paid $210 or so. We will see the quality and what this Atoto F7 is all about. Now I'm gonna try to do this as fast as I can, not make it a long drawn video, and maybe we'll do an install as well on the video. But let's take a look what we have here. This, I believe, is, so we have a wiring harness, some brackets. This one does come with the microphone. Their lower end ones do not come with the microphone. This one, so there's pros and cons about every model. This one has 2 video outs. Probably not going to use it, but it's good to have, and a front camera if you chose to put a video recorder, which I will eventually. I'm gonna take this bad boy out and take a look at it. So this is a double din. They do make single din versions of this, but I have an E450 chassis, so E450, 350, they're gonna be the same. And there you go. This is the Atoto F7 10-inch display, and I wanted this display because it you have a lot of surface area, and obviously the viewing, a lot more real estate that you can see and interact with. It does have this adjustable screen, and the reason I wanted this at first, I was, I didn't want this thing to stick out too much. I wanted it to be flush, but the more I thought about it, and I'll show you in a second, I do want it to come out because it's a lot more reachable for the driver, so you don't have to overextend to push buttons on it. But it does have, commands you could install, the radio button and everything that it could connect to on your steering wheel. Mic over here, it does have USB, it does have a mini SD, looks like. Alright, so we're going to turn around and see what we're replacing. We're replacing the Jensen unit, which is very small. Probably is same size or a little smaller than my S8 Galaxy. So what I was trying to say, as far as the head unit sticking out, the screen, again, it has probably around 2.5 inches that would stick out here. So it's a lot easier to reach over here than it is to reach over here. So that extra space, I think, is going to help while you're driving the rig not to reach out too far. So if I put my arm out, that's exactly the space that I would need not to get up from the back of my seat to actually operate the screen. So we're going to go ahead and attempt to at least take off the panel, which should be relatively easy. What you need to do is, if you have a prying tool, or you could use your fingers, it should, there you go, pop off of the dash pretty easily. Just want to be, there we go. not too hard, and I'm doing this with my fingernails. I am not using any tools. Well, my tip of my fingers, I want to say, not my fingernails, but it's coming out pretty easily. And go all around. Now, one thing I did not foresee are the keys. So I am going to be right back and get the keys. All right, so I'm back, got the keys, and the reason you need the keys is for the shifter. You want to put it, don't start it, and put your shifter down in order to take the stash out. I'm pretty sure we're gonna have to do that. There's just clips everywhere. You can kind of feel around where it's clipped in. I think that's about it. I should have liftoff now. Just very easily wiggle this out. Again, I'm doing this for the first time as well, so that's why I wanted to do it. There's no practice or anything involved here. Put the steering wheel. So maybe that will help. Oh. So maybe we can actually put this up a little. It pops out. Okay. So if you could see here, this part over here popped out. Should be some wires here, but we do have a little bit of room over here. All these would need to be disconnected. Let's go ahead and do that now. Let's put our head unit back so we don't sit on it. There we go. Let's push a little harder. Those are the plugs. That's out. And this over here is the module. Oh, look like this is vacuum operated. That is pretty cool. We got here. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, probably it's not even required to take this whole panel out, because you can definitely get to what you need right now. So these vacuum tubes kind of don't want, these are what actuates the doors for the vents, and it's something that I don't want to disconnect since this is the first time that I'm doing it. Maybe you guys can give some tips on that. But what I'm going to do is actually, looks like it's an 8mm, and we have 4 of them, and then the whole unit would come out. Okay, this turned out to be a 5/16. Now these two do need to be disconnected, and these two meaning the 12-volt sockets, but the panel, I don't think we're gonna have to remove the whole thing. I actually put this back over here. We're just going to have to give enough room to wiggle it out of here and take these bolts off. There's 4, and I'm going to loosen them a little bit. I'm trying to do it by hand here. Oh, why this unit stays on. There we go. Try to remove this extension here. Oh, actually, we do need the extension. A little trickier, but we got it. All right, so now we're gonna try to remove these bolts carefully without dropping them. And see what we're working with here. Two out of 4. Crank it a little more. This one's a little tight. There we go. Now this head unit that I'm replacing, I mean, it did its job, had Bluetooth, backup camera obviously, but other than that, resolution was very poor and it wasn't really up to par with today's technology. So, but you know, for what it was, for it coming with the RV, it did its job. And backup camera was the hugest thing that it did. Obviously, watching your trailer whenever it's in motion, that's what I mostly used it for. And that was another thing that I need to use a bigger screen, because I like to see better view of what I'm towing. So this is all loose now. Now let's take a look and see. It does have a bezel. Let's see if we have room to take this thing out without removing the whole panel. Hopefully we do. So this bezel here is held in by these guys. So we got one. Actually came all apart. I don't know if it was broke or it just happened to come, and we should be able to pull this through now, the original hole. Let's see. Since we don't have the bezel anymore, should come right through here. Yep. So now we could see what we're working with. Should be pretty similar as far as the wiring. So this is the original wiring that we have. And again, I'm guessing this camera was original. So it just has your input for your camera. This guy over here is your power. And then all your speaker wires and everything. Or this is your factory harness. Shouldn't be too many speakers. I think there's only actually 2, maybe 4, but no, I believe there's 2 speakers, your antenna and so what. So we're gonna go ahead and wire this up, and this is your antenna for your radio, and we'll get back and show you the outcome. Hey guys, so after some time, maybe an hour and a half, wiring was fairly easy. I went ahead and I think I have the old wire harness over here. Snipped the old wire harness and went by colors. The old box had all the colors over here and what they meant, so it's pretty easy. The hard part was I didn't realize that this screen actually comes off of the new Atoto unit. So I decided to take off this dashboard. Well, do not take it off, because snapping it off is easy, but actually maneuver it over the steering column is a nightmare. A lot easier to take off, very hard to put on. So in this control panel over here is held on by 3 bolts. There's some vacuum hoses here. So it was a nightmare to take off. Maybe there's other tricks. Guys, let me know if I did this wrong, but again, for a first time, I thought it was a nightmare. So I left it out like this. As you can see, there's some brackets. This is the unit. There's 2-3 screws that unscrew, and this allows for the screen to come in and out, and then the screws will go in. This does have a built-in microphone, but I also put the external mic on it just so it works a little better, and you're able to hear a little bit. Well, not hear, the person on the other end is able to hear you a little better. So I was going to leave this open, but I think I could actually put this dash together and then put the screen back on. One thing that I wanted to mention as far as the screen goes, or as far as the USB, make sure you pull out your USB. This is for your CarPlay. There is an empty spot over here which I pulled it out through, and over here I will get a USB circular port that I will install later. But just wanted to show you how this went together. Again, the hardest part was the dashboard, but you don't need to take it off. Just take off the screen off of the Atoto, or however you call it, and you are good to go. This dashboard does not need to come out. You could just peel it a little bit like I showed you earlier, and that will be enough room to let you install the dash panel back on. So now all we got to do is snap it back in, make sure everything is seating properly. There we go. Everything looks like it's snapped in place, and we are good to go. So now I will show you with the screen. Hopefully I'll have some space here. If not, I'll have to pop it back together. But the screen goes in here. I'm gonna try to pull this out. There's a plug in there, I don't know if you could see it, but the screen goes in here. And you could actually even have it all the way up here if you choose. Plug this in, there you go. That plugged in, as you can see, it came on. So the adjustment, as I was saying, when you're driving, will come here. So show you a little bit, since it came on, what we were working with here. It's a very cool system, very responsive. I played with it a little bit. It has Apple CarPlay, it has Android. It's not hooked up now, but works really good. Bluetooth audio, and everything just seems to work perfectly. I'm gonna